Hey, what's going on, everybody on YouTube? I am Larry the Batman fan, and I am back with another video today. So we are going to do the pickups video today. I have everything in the mail now except for one game, and that one game is Bad Boys Miami Takedown for the Nintendo GameCube. I know it was also released on the PS2 and possibly the original Xbox, but it hasn't come in yet. It's going to be another day or two before it comes in the mail. But I just thought I'd mention that because I have it coming in the mail soon. I know it's not a great game. Excuse me. I know it's not a great game, but I just really like the Will Smith and Martin Lawrence in that action film series. I've seen the first three. I never saw the fourth one though. But I don't know. I just wanted to get that game back in my collection, and it was cheap too. It was only about $20 on the GameCube, so I decided to get it. I am planning on also getting for a Sega Dreamcast Vanishing Point, and I'm trying to get Blue Stinger as well. And it would also be nice to have Confidential Mission, but the prices for it are they're too much right now. It's like $80 to $100 just for that Confidential Mission, which is a great game. It was a light gun shooter on the Sega Dreamcast. I used to own it, you know, that, and I had a couple other fighting games, Flag to Flag, Demolition Racer, No Exit, and I know I had Blue Stinger at one point. I did, and I had a few others. You know, Incoming was another one I had. Crazy Taxi 2. A lot of those Dreamcast games I don't have anymore. Sword of the Berserk and Time Stalkers. Anyways, not too long ago I went to Mr. Deals and I picked up a bunch of games. Picked up 10 games from Mr. Deals and I spent quite a pretty penny. I really only went there because my friend Asim gave me a $50 gift card. So I decided, when I get a day off and I get paid, I'm gonna go there. But the day that I get paid, I have to work that night, so I just decided to go on a Saturday. Since the paid weekend, I don't have to work, so so I just go on. I just went the next day and used that card there. But I also had to plop down an extra $157 because it was over 200 bucks for everything I got. Well, yeah, since I forgot to show these two games in the last video, I might as well show those in this video. Give me a minute. Let me go get those. I forgot to add them into this video. I don't want to miss anything. Got them. You know what? I'm gonna start with the non-gaming related stuff first, because I always like to save the best for last. So let's go ahead and start with the non-gaming stuff. I got a nice stack of comic books. There's quite a few here. There's about 50, I think, in this stack, and there was actually more because my buddy John. Actually, me and him worked out a trade. So essentially I bought 20 of them from him, but I worked out a trade and settled on 30 comic books. So I was only expecting 50 plus two extras that I bought, so 52. But he threw in about 10 or 11 more, so it brought it up to about 62 or 63 comic books, excuse me, in total. So we had quite a few. But unfortunately, a few of them are not ones I can read because they have witchcraft in them, or they used God's name in vain. So those are going back to him. And also there were a few duplicates in there too. So I'm sending 12 of them back to him, and he's going to replace those 12 for me. But other than that, I have the rest of them. Let's go ahead and show you guys. I did show these in a comic book video that I did recently, but I'm going to show them again because they were pickups technically. Detective Comics Batman. Classic Illustrated, or Classics Illustrated with an S at the end. The Moonstone is what it says. Apparently there's over 150 of these because it shows all of them on the back of what was available back in those times. So this one is The Time Machine, which I know was a movie from the 60s, but they later on made the remake in 2003, I believe. I owned the remake. Never saw the original though, but I know there was original. This one I actually bought. He wanted, I think, $20 for it. I offered him 10. Then he counter offered it at 15, and then I went to 13, and he took it. But there was a little bit of shipping, like $5 shipping or $6 shipping, so it was like $18 for this. But it's really old. It's from like 1970. You know, it's nice to have another Flash comic. I only got like 3 or 4 of them in my collection. Another reason why I'm sending back a few of these is because he sent 16 Firestorm comic books. I'm like, come on. There was no Spider-Man in there either. I was disappointed when I saw no Spider-Man. I was like, man, John, what are you doing? Why'd you put so many Firestorm in there? We need a little bit more variety. So I told him that. So I'm sending 3 of those back to him, or 4 of those back to him. But we still kept some. I'm still keeping some. Got Firestorm right here. That's issue number 45. Another Firestorm, issue number 18. Firestorm, issue number 58. Firestorm, issue number 27. Firestorm, issue number 52. We do have some more that are coming up in this pile. Just throwing that out there. Rogue Trooper. Exo Man of War. The Manhattan Projects. I don't know how to pronounce this. Dog something. Punchline. Invaders from Home. Thriller. The Titan. It's a Dark Horse comic book. I don't have too many of those outside of like Call of Duty. I had like 2 or 3 of the Call of Duty ones. And I know Hellboy is also on Dark Horse as well. Here's a thick book, which surprisingly was only $5 when I got this thing. But it's thick. It's not the super thick ones that are like this thick, or have like multiple stories in it. But still, that's thicker than the usual comic books. It's called Critical Mass. Some of these I haven't had a chance to read yet. Some of them I did. I'll start with the Batman ones first, since they're my favorite superhero. So, Captain America, which that was a good pick. That was an essential to throw in there. So, thumbs up on that, John, for throwing that in. Judge Anderson, which I never heard of before. I had no idea that even existed. Union, we got a Image comic book, which is nice. Got some Image comics, which is cool. I like some Image. Adventure. Judge Anderson. We got another one in here? Oh, I guess I do. Yeah, I thought I only had one in here. I guess I got two. Didn't even realize that. So let's see. One is issue number 1. This one's issue number 1. And this one's issue number 4. So that's pretty cool. I don't know why I didn't see that. Didn't realize there were two of them in there. Here we have an old one. It's a little banged up on the side, but it's still intact. It's Metal Man for a 12-cent issue. So this one's from like the late 50s, early 60s. Really old. Alright, here's some more Firestorm. We got Firestorm issue number 33. And Firestorm issue number 16. Codename Spitfire. Pick a few of these up at a time. Oh, here's the other Firestorm. Firestorm issue number 1. That's pretty nice. That might be worth some money, like 20 bucks or something. 25 bucks. Because issue number 1's of the first issue of any comic book these days is worth a shit ton of money, usually. There's this one time I found the Ultimate Spider-Man comic book, issue number 1. I found it for $2 at a game shop, J Street Video Games, when they had comic books there. They don't sell comic books much anymore. It's just mainly cards, toys, pop figures and shit. And the Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh type shit. And maybe even some Magic the Gathering cards. And video games too. They're not selling comic books like they used to. But I found that there for $2. And then when I went into Earthworld one day, I saw that same exact issue for $150. I shit you not. I was like, whoa! Score! 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 It's like I did well, I guess. Here's a Legion of Superheroes, issue number 24. Here's another Firestorm, issue number 36. We have Scout. We have Thor, which is a good pick. I feel like that one's essential to throw in when you're doing a trade deal. Oh yeah, see, I told you there was another Firestorm in here. Issue number 74, Firestorm. We have Winter's World, Halo Jones. Never heard of either one of those, so that's going to be interesting to check those out and read those. We have a Batman from 1987, a 75-cent one. That's how you know it's old. Whenever you see ones for $1, 50 cents, 75 cents, 25 cents, 30 cents, 20 cents, 10 cents, or 15 cents, or 60 cents, that's how you know they're old. But if you see them and they're priced at $3.99 or $4.99, that's how you know they're not old. They're new. We have Batman, number 6. Batman, issue number 650. Batman from May 2002. Detective Comics Batman, the Mud Pack. Number issue 604, 604. Batman, Detective Comics Batman, issue number 664. We're almost done with these comics. Batman Detective Comics, issue number 660. Detective Comics Batman number 659. It's the Detective Comics for May 2002. There's another one here. I would say they're still part of the same ones, and I think they are, because some comic books they have 2, 3, or 4 issues before they finally finish that story. Some of the annual ones they break them down into multiple chapters and then they finish the story. But in the regular comic books, they usually just have an issue and it'll say to be continued, and you get another one later on in the same time period and it says to be continued. Then you finally get the third one and then it ends the story and goes on to another story in Batman's world or Spider-Man's world or whoever it is, Iron Man maybe. And this one is from May, so it's like it jumped up like 2 months or something. I don't have the other one in there. There it is. Shadow Riders, which I never read before, but that's pretty cool. You knew I was a Star Wars fan, John, so you threw in a Star Wars comic book. Jaguar, that's an Impact comic books. Same people that did the Fly. So here's one from the 50s. We got a Walt Disney Classics. So that's kind of cool. Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Donald Duck on the front there. I usually just stick with the superhero stuff, but that one I probably wouldn't mind, because I had a soft spot for some Disney cartoons back in the day. Although I was growing up in the 90s, so like stuff from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s I missed out on. I was growing up watching Looney Tunes and Batman the Animated Series, and Static Shock, Batman Beyond, and Yu-Gi-Oh! and the Zeta Project, Static Shock, things like that. Jackie Chan Adventures, and Doug, and Recess. That's the stuff that I grew up with. Here's another Firestorm. It's issue number 19. Firestorm, issue number 20. Firestorm, issue number 21. So you can see why I'm sending a few of those back to him, because there's just not enough variety there. There needs to be more variety. Come on, John. Get it together, please. Add more variety into the comic book lots here. Don't just send, like, if he does a 20 comic book lot, he'll send like 5 Firestorms and then like 4 Batmans and then like 3 Spider-Mans, and then the rest will be a mixture of like Wolverine, Captain America, Thor. You might get a Turok in there, or a some random one that you've never heard of before, or an Iron Man comic book thrown in there, or something else from DC or Marvel. But he's got to add a little bit more variety, not so many of the same character. Here's the Joker comic book, issue number 5. There. And, yeah, Batman right here. This isn't from John, this is from somebody else. Yeah, I got this in here. I actually forgot to show this in that Batman comic books video that's coming up towards the end of this month. I forgot to show this one in there, so at least you see it in the pickups video. We're not done with the comic books yet. I still got a few more. Excuse me. I went to Earth World that weekend because I was getting some errands done besides Mr. Deals. I had 4 errands to run. I decided to stop at Earth World, and I picked up some more sleeves for me and for my buddy John since we worked out a trade. But I also was like, you know what? If I'm coming into Earth World to buy some sleeves, what's the point of just buying the sleeves and then paying for it and leaving? It's better to get some comic books too. So I was like, you know what? I'll pick out a couple, and I bought this Spider-Man for $10, an old one. A lot of these old ones that they have now are just crazy expensive. 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, $70 for a comic book from 1970s or 80s. What the hell is going on here? Like, I used to be able to get these for $5 or less. Long time ago. But now I guess the collector market has gone up so much that they have to increase everything. But I'm a cheap guy when it comes to comic books. I don't believe in paying crazy ass prices for comic books. So I got this for $10. This was one that I was like, okay, $10, whatever, sure. And I bought it. $10 is not bad for a comic book, to be honest, but I just don't see paying those crazy prices. $50, $100 a comic book. I'm like, what? I'm not that crazy. Got a Black Panther in here. It's pretty cool. I did buy a Nightwing comic book too. It's somewhere in here. It might be over there. It's not in this bag though. I also did get this thing because they always throw this in. The newspaper. It keeps you updated on the comic book stuff coming out. It's free. Got that. Yeah. See, it's kind of like a newspaper. See? Keeps you updated with everything that's coming out within the next month or two. Since it's a small thing, I'll just show the last page. If this had been like 10 different pages, I wouldn't have been able to show it all, so it would just take too much time when recording this, but it's only a few pages, so why not? And I also did get these two things. They're free too. They always give these away. They have illustrations in them. That's what it is. They show you what's coming out. I'm going to show all of it. But you get the idea. I got this one too. You get the idea, I'm sure. But yeah, they're not comic books, they're just illustrations, but it's still nice to have these. They're free. Who knows, maybe in the future they'll be worth something, maybe $1 or $2. Or maybe $3, who knows. Alright, let me just get these comic books out the way here, set them to the side, and then we'll continue on. If If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. So that way you help me out. Help me get to 400 subscribers. It's greatly appreciative of everyone watching my show. Except for the cyberbullies and trolls. Y'all can eat a dick. But other than them, I welcome you all here and I thank you for watching me. Alright, now we have some books to show. I got these recently. It just came in today. I got The Hardy Boys, The Clue of the Broken Blade. The Melted Coins. The Shortwave Mystery. The Secret of Skull Mountain. The Sign of the Crooked Arrows. The Phantom Freighter, or Frighter. The Secret Panel. And the last one we got here in the lot is The Flickering Torch Mystery. It's nice to have these because we only owned 2 of the Hardy Boy books growing up. The Haunting Fort and The Disappearance, or The Disappearing Floor, or something like that. Those were the only ones that we had. I could have sworn we had a third one, though. I'm pretty sure we did have a third one at one point. Other than that, we didn't really have any of the Hardy Boys books growing up. We were just kids. We didn't have money. We only got an allowance. An allowance was only a couple dollars. You know, $2 or $3. That's what we got when it first started out. You know, and gradually, Mom started giving us more. You know, now we don't get an allowance because we're adults now. Me and my brother earn our money and our paychecks now through our full-time jobs. But back then, you know, it was nice getting an allowance to buy whatever we wanted. But Mom usually gave us $2 or $3 as kids, and eventually $5, $10, $20. You know, so it was whatever we could afford. You know, we only got it once a week. So, but yeah, that's a stack of books. It's nice to have some more Hardy Boy books. I like reading the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew books, and Agatha Christie, Andrea Kane, John Grisham, or anything that involves murder mystery type stuff. I love it. I think it's really entertaining. Keeps me interesting when reading. And reading's good for the mind usually, as long as you're not reading anything like R.L. Stein or Stephen King's or anything demonic, then you're good. You know, Harry Potter, I wouldn't read Harry Potter either. Now, of course, we're not done because there is more to show. We have games, of course. Oh wait, I almost forgot. John did send me this book right here. It had a different cover variant on it, or variant cover, if you want to call it that. I might have said that in reverse. But it was in really bad shape, and every time I tried to take down a page, the other page on it would fall out, and it just was so bad. I had to throw it out, you know. But I at least kept, I was able to keep 4 of them, 4 of the books. Where is that 4th book? Oh, here it is, down here. I got to keep these, which were birthday gifts. This one, which is The Best Man to Die, Ruth Rendell. Rendell. I think that's how you say it. Rendell. Not Randall, Rendell. Nero Wolfe and 4 to Go. The Girl in the Plain Brown Wrapper. Journey into Fear by Eric Ambler. And then this was the 5th book, but the book was in really bad shape. It was in shambles and it looked terrible. And the pages were all falling out. So I went ahead and actually bought another copy of it. I found it for the seller wanted $10 or so, or $11, but I bargained with the seller for $6.50. The seller, I think the seller wanted more like $8.50. I went to $7. The seller took it, so I paid $7.56 for this book. It's not bad. But I look forward to reading it finally. So even though this was from John, I didn't end up keeping it because of the bad shape of the book. The condition was terrible. I ended up getting another copy so I can still read the thing. So, and I did get some other stuff from him. Movie-wise here, a PC game, Star Wars. You'll see that in the birthday video. I don't need to show that part again because they're not really pickups. And I picked up Mathlock off of him too. Brand new for $10 plus shipping, so it was about $17 or $18 total. Really not a bad deal for season 1 through 4 of Mathlock. I mean, that's pretty kick-ass, I feel, for this. So I'm glad to have it in my collection. I've actually been watching it. I'm on the first season on the disc. I've watched 2 episodes already. I got the 3rd one up here. It's in my DVD player currently. I just paused it because I'm doing this video. So yeah, it's nice to have that in my collection. Let me take a quick swig and then we'll show you the games that I have. And like I said, for the games, I have everything except Bad Boys Miami Takedown for Nintendo GameCube. We have Double Dragon 3, the arcade game for the Sega Genesis. The Sega Genesis version is way better than the NES version. It fucked up the NES version, but this version is better. Way more playable than the NES version. Plus, the game was impossible. 1 life, that's it, no continues. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, crazy. You don't know what I'm talking about if you saw the Angry Video Gamer, because Double Dragon 3 on NES is a crap fest. It's terrible. Says Separation Anxiety, but I know it's Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man Separation Anxiety. That's the full title of the game. So, nice to have that. I've almost all the Spider-Man games on Sega Genesis now. I think I'm missing just one. I think I got one just called Spider-Man. That's it. Just Spider-Man. Picked up Millipede for Mr. Deals. I saw that they had some NES games for cheap. They were the 20 and under bin. They're sitting on a rack. And they're kind of hit and miss. Some of the games are kind of crappy. But there are some like this that are actually decent. So I picked this one up for $12.99. They're not all crap in there. Some of them are crap, but like John Elway's Quarterback and 10-Yard Fight and Friday the 13th, like garbage games like that. But like I said, some of them are good. I picked this up for $50. I finally got a copy of it. It's used, but it was a little bit cheaper than, actually it was $47 actually, so a little bit cheaper than GameStop, because they said at GameStop it's currently $55 for a used copy. I'm like, $55 for a used copy? You're kidding. They're like, yeah, but the brand new one they want $70 for. I'm like, oh, okay. I thought maybe if one was $60 brand new and $55 would be only $5 off the price. But no, he said it was $70, so brand new. But they had a used copy, $47. Really not a bad deal for it, since they said price of Zelda, Mario, and stuff like Pokemon, the prices just never decrease really. They try to be cheaper too, to give you a deal, because after all, his name is Mr. Deals for a reason. So if he was selling this for $60 or $55, he'd be selling it for the same price as GameStop. So $46.99 for this. I guess we'll take it. You know, I did buy it. I look forward to playing that too, because I didn't have any Zelda games on the Nintendo Switch. Of course, I'm on a Wii crave right now to pick up all the Wii games that were worthwhile, and I got some recently. I did. I picked up Klonoa for $32 off of eBay. I'm glad to have it complete. There was another seller that had it for cheaper, about $23, but it was missing the manual. This is complete, by the way. It was missing the manual, and the cover art was damaged. It looked like it had a coffee stain on it from the pictures I saw. So I ended up going with a different seller and paying a little bit more money, but 24 bucks plus shipping, so it came to $10 shipping, about 32 bucks. It's worth it, or $9, I think, something like that. We got MotoGP, which was a random pickup, but I saw that and I saw it was a Capcom title. I'm like, you know what? I never really played the motorcycle MotoGP games. I know there's 2 or 3 on the original Xbox, so I think, what the heck? I'll try it out and see if it's any good. They're usually good from what I've heard. Got Kirby's Epic Yarn. I picked that up from Mr. Dale's, so it's nice to have a Kirby game in my collection. I did not own any of the Kirby games on the Nintendo Wii, so this is the first one that I have. I gotta get the other 2 though, the Dream Collection and the Return to Dreamland, that one too. Here's a Metal Jesus Rocks pickup, because he has a bunch of those videos where he recommends games, and I wanted to pick up another one. I was sitting there contemplating, thinking to myself, what is good on the Wii? So I went back and watched a few of those Wii Hidden Gems videos that he did, because he did 5 or 6 of them. I noticed he had this game in there, so I was intrigued. I picked it up for about $15. I picked up Top Shot Arcade, because he said it's a good game. It's a light-gun shooter game where you kill deer and chickens and maybe even some moose. Kill some moose in the game, so interesting game. I picked up a lot that had 10 games off of eBay. 5 of them I'm going to sell. I have it listed on my eBay to sell because they were doubles for me. And one was Tank in the Garden of Gross, which I had no interest in whatsoever, so that one's going to get sold in that lot. But there were some in there that I was interested in, which is why I paid the $60 for the games. Got Pitfall, The Big Adventure. This is another one that Metal Jesus Rocks talked about, said it was a pretty good game. I like the Pitfall game on NES. I like the one on, or the 2, on Atari. So there were 2 of them, Pitfall and Pitfall 2. So I figured, why not? Give it a try, see if it's good. Finally have No More Heroes in my collection. It's been a long time. Did not have this in my collection, so it's good to finally have that. I know it's a good game. It's one of the few M-rated games on the system, besides the Call of Duties, the Curse Mountain, Oni Chunbara, Bikini Zombie Slayers, Mad World, Manhunt 2, No More Heroes 2, and there was a few other shooting games on the Nintendo Wii that were rated M. And a few other horror games on the Wii that were also M. Rygar. This is Rygar, The Battle for Argus. I had to read that because this is in small print, but this was on my list to get, and it was in the same lot, so I was interested. Once I saw how many games there was actually in there, and they were all good ones for the most part, and they were ones that I wanted, some of them, I was like, I'm interested. I hit the heart button to save it to the watch list, and then when the day came and it got paid, I bought it. Boom Blocks, not a huge puzzle fan, but I will try it out. I think I played this before. I used to own this. I have it back in my collection. I know there was also a sequel, Boom Blocks Bash Party, as well, which is surprisingly good. But it's nice to have that. I think Metal Jesus Rocks talked about this too in one of his Wii Hidden Gems videos, but it's a decent game. I heard Steven Spielberg had some involvement in those 2 games. I got Mario Party 9. I got this for dirt cheap. The seller was selling it for $35. And I said sold because I mean there were other sellers selling this for $60, so it's nice to have that. Although it was missing the manual, you know, but I mean the disc was in good shape. From what I saw, let me see. Yeah, it's in pretty good shape. It's got a couple scratches on the disc, but it's lightly scratched. So I'm assuming it'll still play. So I mean, for that price, it ended up being $37 and change. Why not? Why not? We have Sonic and the Black Knight, which was part of the lot. I'm gonna keep this one. I've heard it's not a very good game. You know, it's kind of a letdown from what I've been told. Missing the manual, but this is in good shape. And it is nice to have another Sonic game in my collection for the Wii, or in general, I mean. Alright, we got a few more titles to go, and then we'll end this video. We have Dragon Quest Heroes 2. Nice to have this in my collection. Definitely one that I was interested in getting for PlayStation 4. I'm almost done with PlayStation 4 collecting. Well, then again, I say that, and there might pop up somewhere in stores a game that, like, oh, that's a weird looking game. It looks interesting, and then buy it. So I guess I shouldn't say that. But as far as I know, the only other games I'm interested in for PS4 is the Ninja Turtles Made in Manhattan game, the Wipeout game, which is a racing game, Nier Automata, and Dead Alliance. That's it. Those are the only ones I can think of for the. Oh wait, no, there is a game called Proteus. That looked interesting. That's a first-person shooter. Plays very similar to Doom or Power Slave. Yeah, that looked interesting too. But other than that, I don't know. I don't see much out there besides those games. Those 4 or 5 that I mentioned, I'm interested in. Legaia 2 or Legaia 2 for PS2. Not a cheap title, surprisingly. I paid $24.99 for this game. $25. See? So I guess this game's pretty. It's not a very common game, but of course, Mr. Deals, he's got it. You know, you're looking for something rare or something less common, he more than likely has it because he's one of the only retro video game stores we have besides Pastime Legends and J Street Video Games. You know, so pretty cool to find that. Add another PS2 game to my collection because I love the PS2. There are so many great games on the PS2. You know, I still find games on the PS2 that I'm interested in playing to this very day. You know, that I never experienced before. That's why I hold on to my older games and consoles. Because you never know what you're going to experience or find out in the wild that you never played before that you'll get to enjoy and play. Fantastic Four, based off the 2005 movie. It's a licensed game. I heard this game was okay, you know. So I was like, you know what? And I saw it, and I saw the price on it, $15. I was like, okay, why not? I like the Fantastic Four comic books. You know, I found them interesting. I'm not really a fan of Mr. Fantastic or Invisible Woman. I think they're the weaker of the four, but, you know, they are the Fantastic Four for the reason, not the Fantastic Two. But, yeah, it's nice to have that. Heard it's a beat-em-up type of game. Heard it's decent. Hopefully it's better than that damn movie, because that movie sucked back in 2005. The movie's not very good. Alright, so now we have MDK2, and this was a $12.99 game, which is pretty nice. They had 2 or 3 copies of it. I looked to see if they had the one with the manual, but all 3 of the copies had no manual. Why do some of these people throw out the manuals? I just don't understand it. What do they do with these manuals? How do they end up misplaced or lost? Or how do they not end up in the cases? Stick them back in the damn cases, please. Please. That's why when I buy them, sometimes I can't get them with the manual. And And then when I see the manual on eBay, they want $10 for it. I'm like, I'm not paying $10 just for a manual. That's ridiculous. All right, 3 games left. Here's. Oh wait, no, I'm wrong. We got more. Slave Zero. I bought this from Mr. Deals. I wanted to add another Dreamcast game. I actually wanted to add 2 or 3 more, but it was all about the money and stuff. They did have some that were not crap, like all these basketball and football and baseball games, hockey games. You know, they had a lot of those, but they had some that were actually pretty good. This was one of them I saw in there. It looked interesting. $17.99. Why not? They had Demolition Racer, No Exit. They had Evolution 1 and 2. I had the first one. I don't have the second one, but they wanted $60 for the second one. Expendable for like $30. It's kind of like a run and gun game. Heard that's good. They had Gradia. That game was in there. I saw that. Shenmue. And I saw a few other games that they had that were interesting. Vigilante 8 Second Offense, they had that in there. But a lot of the Dreamcast games that were good, they wanted this. Big dollars for it. 30, 40, 50 bucks. $60 a game. So I ended up just getting Slave Zero that day. Although I could have gotten the Demolition Racer thing. Let me see here. Is it still? Okay, it is still recording. Just making sure. Don't want this to cut out. Yeah. We're at 47 minutes, so let me just speed this up. Yeah, so they had a bunch of Dreamcast games there, but like I said, a lot of them were crap and not ones I was interested in. Those are the ones that were like sports games. But other than that, you know, they had some, but it's all about the money. You know, you got the money for it. If you don't have the money, you can't get it. This. Oh wait, let's go with this since this was also part of Mr. Deals. I got Far Cry Primal for $12. Not bad for $12. Add another PS4 game. Got this off of eBay for $22 or $23. I got Die Hard Vendetta for GameCube. It's nice to have that. I have a new GameCube game in my collection. Oh yeah, here's another Mr. Deals game. I got Hunter of the Reckoning, so I have all 3 of the Hunter of the Reckoning games. This was $20, surprisingly though. I probably would have charged $15 if I had been him because this is the first game in the series. It's the most common one out of the 3, honestly. This is also from Mr. Deals. I picked this up too, which is Fighters Mega Mix for Sega Saturn. Yeah, can you believe that? He had some good Sega Saturn games in here. This was one of them. I also saw Sonic 3D Blast for the Sega Saturn. Battle Monsters, I think is what it was called. And he had a copy of Enemy Zero. They wanted a lot of money for it. They wanted like $100 for that. Couldn't believe it. And there were like 1 or 2 other games that they had for the Sega Saturn. I know he had Panzer Dragoon 1 and 2. I would have bought 2, but he wanted $100 for it, so, or $90 for it, so I ended up getting that. I have the first one on Sega Saturn, though. Actually, this is going to be thrown in the mix. This is not a game. This is Evanescence, their Fallen CD. I love this CD. Just about every song on the CD kicks butt. It's really good. I think it's their first album, but it's got a lot of great songs. I mean, Imaginary is on there. My Immortal, Going Under, Bring Me to Life, Everybody's Fool, Taking Over Me, Hello, My Last Breath, Whisper. No, a lot of great songs on this CD, you know. They're a really good hard rock band, alternative rock band. And then at J Street Video Games, I had some birthday money, so when I went there, I decided to pick this up. I picked up 2 games. I picked up Remember Me for Xbox 360. Never owned this game before. Nice to have it in my collection. I heard that Capcom was working on a sequel to this game, but it never came to pass. They never got it out to the public. I guess there wasn't enough praise over this game, so Capcom just decided to leave it alone because not enough people, I guess, bought the damn game. So they were like, you know what? We didn't get a lot of sales in this game. I think we're just gonna leave it be. Just keep it at this one game. I heard it's an action adventure game. There is some shooting in it and fighting with your sword or fists. So pretty cool. Heard it's a bit open world. It's got a lot of exploring and stuff in that, and bad guys that you fight in the game. Definitely look forward to checking this game out. Looks interesting. And then the last game I picked up is another PS4 game I got for $10. It is a first-person shooter game. I have all the Battlefields now, all of them. I have Battlefield 5 for PS4, so it's nice to have that. Glad I waited too. There was a time when this game was $60, so yeah, I got it for $10. Pretty cool to have that. Look forward to playing it, trying it out. So that's all of my pickups for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to Larry the Batman Fan. Subscribe, folks, subscribe. And be a part of what I got going on, so that way you can see more good videos on my channel here. And also you help out my algorithm, since YouTube's algorithm really sucks. I do lots of gameplay videos, religion videos, giveaway shows from time to time, comic book related videos, and I also do movie reviews. And lots of video game type of videos on here. So if you like what you see, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Help me get to 400 subscribers. That helps me out greatly, and I do appreciate y'all if you do that for me. Anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. God bless you all, and take care. Larry the Batman Fan signing off.